Okay, good afternoon, brother and sister Dharma. We shall continue from the last session where we stopped here. Okay, we continue from number 11 factor, Pancha Jata Pachaya. That means post-nascent condition. I mean to say, condition arises after the phenomena is supports. I mean, this condition arises to support the earlier one. Paccajata Paccaya is a condition where a phenomena that arises later supports or maintains a phenomenon that arose before it. I mean, it's supporting the earlier phenomenon which is happening. So, Pacha, the word means after or later. Jata means born or reason. So Paccaya means condition. So basically you say, therefore, Paccaya, Paccajata Paccaya is a condition of subsequent existence. It describes a reverse relationship. That means a later, a recent state, because Paccaya Dhamma becomes a condition. That means a later happening that becomes a condition for the continued existence or function of an earlier recent state. Paccaya Upadana Dhamma. So basically, this is another special condition with supporting to the earlier one. The core idea is support through maintenance is only Paccaya where the effect temporarily follows the cause, yet it supports it. So this breaks our linear notion of causality and introduces the concept of feedback loops in the mind-body system. Feedback loop is quite a kind of process in electronic circuitry or the kind of process feedback that it, in a way, it control back the earlier one with this called loop or shortcut in order for the process in any circumstances to support it operating it. So it's something like a logic kind of calculation. So this condition operates in two main ways. The mental state, supporting the body. I mean the mind over the body. Subsequently, a recent mental state. I mean the consciousness and the mental factor support the physical body that arose before them. I mean to say, we have a physical body that was born earlier, and this mental factor and what consciousness that later arises and support the physical body. And later mental state supporting earlier mental state. Subsequently, a recent mental state in the cognitive series supporting the earlier state that in the same series. That means one mental state supporting another earlier mental state. This is an example. A crew of a moving ship, the mental state supporting the body. So what is this about? This is the most fundamental and important example of Paccajata Paccaya. The earlier recent state is Paṭṭhāna-naya. The physical body at conception, a material body is produced. So this body prior to any consciousness experience. That means a body that is created and later this consciousness able to support it in a matter of time. So this is considered the timing is a later state. And the later a recent state, Paccaya Dhamma. Different from this one earlier reasoning is the earlier one. This is later recent state, Paccaya Dhamma. So the mind consciousness, or what we call the citta, and its mental factor, Cittasika, moment by moment, after the body have been formed. I mean, you think of a baby, the body started, then the next one is what I think the mental kind. Consciousness arises dependent on the body, specifically the heart base, or what I call Hadaya Vatu, which is studied in the earlier years. So this is governed by other conditions like Vatu Purejata, pre-nascent of the heart base. So how Pachajata Pachaya works here? Although the consciousness arises after the body has been formed, it immediately turns around and support and maintain and vitalize the very body it depends on. So a body needs the chitta and Sika. So without that, then the body is something like a vegetable. So it's some sort of this sort that our mind and body operates. Good example is a modern example. A ship and its crew. This is an example. So when you elaborate on this, any of these condition, you need to get example to examine how the thing works. Last time I study you through, they always give the Abhidhamma one. It's very hard to understand. So even my teacher trying to explain to me, most of the time get lost. So lucky able to get all these model example to relate to all these conditions. The ship is built. So when you want to go sailing a long trip, a ship is constructed in a dry dock. That the ship exists prior to any crew setting foot on it, right? So this is a body. Right? Think of it like a human body. So the crew boards is later state. Later, a crew assemble and boards the ship. The crew is dependent on the ship. So the crew need a ship before it can sail. So it's interdependent each other. So the crew is dependent on the ship for their existence. And they need a ship for them to sail across. And they need the ship to be a crew, right? So it's something like interconnected each other. So this is consciousness arising dependent on the body. Okay? So this is more clear cut. So Pachajata Pachaya in action. Once aboard, the crew does not passively ride. Okay? They don't just sit there without doing anything. They maintain the ship. They pump out the water, repair leaks, clean the decks, and operate the engines. So the crew is considered as the later arisen condition. So this is a necessary, absolutely essential for preventing the ship, I mean the ship body, the earlier arisen state, from rapidly deteriorating and sinking. Because ship sailing across ocean, you need the crew to maintain. There is no foolproof that from one end to the other end, no problem. So this crew is essential to maintain the ship operation. So without the crew continuous maintenance, the ship will quickly fall apart. So this example is to talk about post-nascent condition, pacha, jata, pachaya. Okay, so this is one good example. If such example you were to put out to relate this condition. So in that explanation, in Abhidhamma, the materiality rupa is inherently inert. I mean, and lifeless. I mean, the body, the what you call our human body, born is like a physical ship without anything So without consciousness to vitalize it, it would decay according to its natural lifespan very quickly. So that is why when you coma, the loss of consciousness and the Chitta-Sika, all that, the body, who, I mean, you see those people coma, they need to move the body to and fro. If you leave it days and days continuously without cleaning it, without washing it, without rolling the body left and right, the thing will start rotting, the meat, the what you call the flesh. So each moment of consciousness that arises after the body has come into being acts as a life force. So the crew considered as a life force. Our nama and the consciousness Cetasika is considered as a life force, sustaining the body warmth, cohesion, and vitality. So in a way, it's a reciprocal way. So both of them must operate together. So at death, that's why you see death, when consciousness ceases, this post-nascent support stop. Okay, that's why the moment when all this so-called the consciousness and the Cetasika, these things are die down, and the body will start feeling cold. So the body no longer maintained by the consciousness immediately begins the process of disintegration. Okay, this is what we call dying down, even though the physical organ may still be intact. So this vividly demonstrates the power of Paccajata Paccaya. Okay, so when this one, during exam, one of the, I think easily 3 to 4 conditions will be given. So you need to describe on it. So whichever way you might need to know all the 24 of them, whatever way they throw at you. A second is modern example, the momentum of a project. I call later mental state supporting earlier one. Okay, this one talking about moment of a project. This applies to a series of mental state where later states support the continuity and purpose of an earlier evolution. So starting objective, you have a goal to write a book. Okay, your objective is to write a book. The earlier a recent state, Paccaya Punadhamma, the initial intention, I mean your evolution or the way you target, you start with this initial intention and decision to write the book. So this is a mental state. It's called volitional formation, cetana, that arises at the start of the project. So when you do anything of a project, you must have intention. That intention started first before you can proceed others. So the later arisen state, Paccaya Dhamma, the subsequent moment of effort, you put in all your drop all your work and focus state and perseverance that occurs days, weeks, and months after the initial decision. So this is initial your plan, and this is action which you can carry on later on. So how the Paccajata Paccaya works here? The initial decision by itself is weak and will fade. Okay, this starting point. It will later a reason state of continued effort that give the life and power to the initial intention. So when you have a target, you need the effort and all your passion and whatever on it, then the thing will start running. And then they carry the thoughts forward. Okay? So this is how it works. Similar like you're doing YMBA, you need to start you want to complete your YMBA, and then after that is all your effort already, right? So those people who fall out, drop off, is because of this. They are weak, followed by weak, and their intentions start, all their confidence start dropping, and then you don't have the second part, naturally you will die down. So this is the same way you can explain. These are very good condition to explain a lot of things. According to my teacher, also can explain how the share will go up and down. My teacher expert in share. Okay, so 11. Finish. Then we talk about number 12. Asevana Pachaya. Repetition, or what you call habitual recurrent condition. So how it works? Repetition or habitual recurrent of similar Dharma condition strengthen repetition in the future. I mean, conditioning by repeated practice. So basically, asavana is conditioned by repeated practice. So what is the paramata? It's a mental habit, or what you call the citta and recurring chittas. Okay. Example: A repeated attention to object, repeated asevana, makes the pattern more likely to reoccur. Especially when you practice meditation, right? You start with object of meditation. So you practice the very first time, you already have the starting point. But what makes it a good habit is that repeatedly you must meditate, not just every time when you're called upon, then you meditate. It's repeatedly you discipline yourself and meditate. So you become a habitual. Asevana Paṭṭhāya is a condition of habituation. It describes how a preceding mental impulse, javana chitta, which is always chemically active. So it can be considered as a mental impulse or javana chitta, that it becomes a chemically active volitional mind moment that condition and intensify the identical mental impulse that immediately follow in a cognitive series. Right? So when you study, you must have a habit of cultivating habitual learning. Right? I mean, even when you have free time, you just carry on reading and gain more knowledge. As you practice, the more you touch on it, more research you do on it, you become a habit that you is a good way of gathering more knowledge each every passing day. So the core idea is momentum, like a snowball rolling downhill. So each repetition of a thought. So whenever the one thought come in, over and over again, emotion or volition add power and inertia. Like snowball, when rolling down the hill, it gather snow, and the more snow it gather, the more rapidly the snowball become bigger and make the movement even faster, and making it easier for the next identical thought to arise. So that means if you have this habit of uh, learning or whatever thing you're practicing or doing or you're practicing it, then this rolling of this snowball will gather speed, and then more things will start to arise and harder for the sequence to be stopped. It's like snowball falling out on top of here and coming down to the bottom. As it speed, it gather more snow and become rapidly fast and become stronger and stronger. So example, the escalating argument. Let's say you're doing unwholesome repetition. This is the classic example of unwholesome or what called akusala, asevana pattaya happen. Okay, situation, your partner makes a critical remark. So this is more of a Abhidhamma process, cognitive process. Javana moment one, the initial arises when your partner say that was unfair. So the mind movement is dominated by this aversion, dosa. It's quick, but a karmic seed is planted. So a bad thing happen and agitate you. So this Asevana Pattaya in action from Javana 2 to 7. Because the mind has tasted the object, which with aversion, that means you really tainted with the idea that, hurt by this remark. The subsequent Javana moments are one by one, rapidly fire, and each one according to the next through the repetition. I mean, the first thought really agitate you. So the next Javana comes. And then you start having it. They always do this. So it become a stronger aversion. Now with perception of permanent. So your mind all paying all this kind of effect. So they always do this. And then third Javana come out. Hey, I don't deserve this. Then you start your mental aversion mixed with conceit. Wow. I mean you some bad remark on this. So you're feeling, why should I deserve this remark? Then the next Javana, the fourth one, I'm going to give them a piece of my mind. I mean, this one is your kind of intention to fight back. So this aversion now feel the volition to speak. As a result, when you do something bad, this bad one will churn up to be worse and worse. So from moment 7 to 8, the anger intensified. Wow, that's how your burning anger start to burn. And when you're fully concentrating, the mental state of rage is now has a full momentum. That's why when you're not mindful, this bad thing overcome you. These are very top moment. These are broken down. It's so fast. So if you really, as a mindful person, you will not come to moment 5 and 7. So you come to 5 and 7, become red, then all your thing you lost your mind, then you can do whatever you want, shouting or whatever, or whack somebody. So this is thing when people in a bad mood, these are Javana moment happen so quickly that it just bursts, then the thing just happen. Especially those who quarrel. Like here in Singapore, many at the coffee shop speak nice, fair speaking, and then someone talk bad. Then the few person with all this Javana bad Javana movement, then took a chair or a knife and then hit on the other party. So how the in that explanation talk about the first spark of anger was weak. Okay, so every first Jamana is weak one, and could have been abandoned if you are mindful. But due to asa vena pachaya, each subsequent identical impulse of anger make the next one stronger and more automatic. I mean, when anger start, then all these bad thoughts come in. Beginning is a soft one. So like putting more pepper and salt, and more you add in, the thing become fiery. So this is a chain reaction of anger. You are not just having one thought of anger. You are having the same thought reinforced 7 times in rapid succession. So that is why a small component can trigger a major argument. And repetition conditions will build up an overwhelming momentum. And this is how we explain people in the mood of anger. So without a mindful mind, you run to the 7 jhavana, the action is to kill or to shout or to make the other party as bad as possible. Then a second example is a good one, deepening compassion. That means a wholesome repetition. Asevana Pachaya is equally vital for developing a wholesome kusala state. Situation like you are formally practicing loving kindness meditation. You are told to do loving mindful meditation, direct well wishes towards a friend. So when a friend in trouble, you're doing this metta transferring to him. So how this cognitive process work? At Javana moment 1, you bring your friend to mind and generate a thought. May you be happy. This is a wholesome mind moment of goodwill. That's how you practice metta meditation. Your object is to transfer this. May you be happy to your friend as objective. So Asevana Pachaya in action, the Javana 2 to 7, the repetition condition takes over and strengthening the initial impulses. Okay? And with this as objective, then Jamanas 2 to 7, it be putting in more and more power. So this thing becomes stronger. So second moment, you say, may you be truly happy and peaceful. So this feeling deepens. So this is a moment in our mind state that if you are doing good thing, you will process it become a better and better one at every moment. And the third moment is a warm, genuine feeling of care, supported. Care arises supported by previous repetition. Previously, earlier one, which you started, and this one become much better than the earlier one. And the fourth moment, the feeling feels effortless and natural. So it comes to fourth jhavana, the thing become You no need to do much because this thing is like a snowball, become better and become bigger and more. Not much to put effort, but becoming more and more bigger and better. Then from moment 5 to 7, the mind become absorbed in the feeling of metta. Then you are in metta state, that you are ready to transfer. So it's no longer just word, but a powerful, tangible, emotional state. So it's a mental state that in your mind that you are going to transfer this into your other friend. So how to explain this? This is how meditation works on a microscopic level. So when you're taught in meditation about this, you wouldn't able to picture it out. So with this Asavana Paṭṭhāna, then you start to break down into 7 thought moments on how this process arise one after another. So when you are using this Asavana Paṭṭhāna, you have to your advantage by repeatedly, intentionally generating a wholesome state. You make it stronger and more dominant in the mind. So when it comes to state, the 7th one, the thing is very solid, so you can transfer to your friend. So the first moment might feel forced, but by the 7th, the feeling is authentic and powerful. So this is a mechanism behind instruction. Fate, it will make the repetition creates the reality. So it's no more a fake one, it's an actual one. So this thing cannot be sort of taught by no master guru. So you need to practice and make it be yours and transfer the metta to others. Actually, fate till you make it, because beginning you are considered as fate. Because beginning is no just a metta instruction. Then the fate will start dissolve, then really become metta. Okay, so this is some sort like a from an imagination to a reality. So number 13, karma paccaya, karma action condition. So how this thing work? Volitional action, what you call karma, act as condition for result. I mean the karma as condition, then the result will come out. The karmic vipaka, the moral, intentional, causal link between the action and result. So this is called karma paccaya or karma condition. So what is pramata? The karmic cetana, the volition as the conditional factor, show up as citta or cittasika rupa consequences. Example, intentional cruelty or generosity, the good or bad one, as karma paccaya for future vipaka experience. And the intention of this current moment, and for your in the future days or in your future lives. So karma paccaya is a condition of moral causality. It describes the relationship by a past volition stored as a latent potential force. I mean, those that you did in the past already is inside the storehouse. It serves as a primary condition for the arising of a resultant experience, may it be present, unpleasant, or the very nature of a new life. So this is how we studied earlier about this karma intention, how it started, how it works. So the core idea is that volition is the real action. The physical or verbal deed is just the outward manifestation. So early part is a volition, that is a very beginning one. And then the physical or verbal deed is just the other state that will happen. So volition plants a seed that will inevitable fruit when conditions are right. So this is called cause and effect. Good, you get good. Bad, you get bad. Okay, example, the immediate social karma, I call short-term result. This illustrates the karma ripening within a single life or in a short time frame. Karmic condition, past volition. Okay, example, at work, okay, you see a colleague struggling with a heavy workload. So you intentionally or volition, your volition, choose to stay late and help them, motivate by genuine compassion, because your compassion arise, you feel that it's bad to let the other party suffer, and generosity or dana. So this is a wholesome kusala karma. Okay, this is a karmic condition which you trying to help a friend or a colleague. Resultant effect the present vipaka. Okay, a modern example, a week later, you are overwhelmed with a project. Okay, so this thing suddenly you got a project with you know very little about it. Okay, I mean you have very little knowledge about this project. So in a way, the same colleague. So when you do the earlier one, the same colleague without being asked, spend the afternoon guiding you through it. Right? So this is another effect of helping earlier helping someone, and then when something happened to you on another occasion, then this friend come and help you to fix the problem. So this is called the karmic condition. So explanation on this. Your initial act of generosity was not a transaction, because you don't buy, you not pay. It's out to your so-called your mind that you want to offer this help. You didn't help them to get. You didn't expect to get help from them. Okay, back. Okay, you put effort to help them, but don't expect to get anything back. The evolution create a karmic potential. Okay. And the result, vipaka, is an experience of receiving unexpected help. This experience is pleasant, or sukha vedana, which is a natural fruit of a wholesome volition. And I'm talking about this karma effect in this present life. So if you do of this good nature, then thing can happen for you in the present moment, in a subsequent moment. Okay? So this is called karma paccaya. So the specific person circumstances are determined by countless other conditions, the paccaya. But the karma paccaya is a primary condition that make this particular present experience possible. So this is called karma paccaya. So it is the law of moral, what I call moral gravity. Kindness set emotion, create condition for kindness to be received. This is called karma paccaya. Kindness set emotion, create condition for kindness to be received. So this explains karma paccaya works. And second example, habitual karma, or what I call character formation. This shows how the karma paccaya shape our personality and tendency. The karma condition, repeated habitual, this called repeated volition. Every day, you make a small intentional effort to be mindful of your speech. I mean, you make effort every day to be controlling of your speech coming out from your mouth, okay? Of what you talk. You repeatedly volition choose to pause before reacting. So every time before you speak out, you think. Before reacting angrily, to speak truly and to avoid gossip. So this is a practice of sama vacha, right speech. So if people want to practice right speech, always be mindful of what is to be spoken. So once you've spoken, cannot return back, no more undo. So all these are steps how to control your mindful speaking. The resulting effect, or what I call trail formation. Over months and years, you find that patient and truthful communication become your default mode. So every day every moment you practice this, it becomes a habit to you that it's very hard for you to speak wrong words. So the tendency to act with sharp speech has weakened significantly. You have a reputation of meaning calm and reliable, right? So this you can find in office works or in your environment. Some of these people, the speech are very vicious. Okay, these are people without mindful speaking. So they never control their break. And then the intent this will hurt others. So finish this. This is a Sevana Pachaya repetition working within the Karma Pachaya. So each small evolution to speak wisely is a karmic act. So by repeating it or doing habit over and over again, you are planting countless karmic seeds of the same type. Okay, that means you good seed you plant, you will definitely have a good kind of result. So the vipaka is not a single event, but gradual formation of a character trail. You are literally karmifying yourself into a patient person. You are a person who is very quick mouth and who tends to hurt people. By doing practice, you have become a patient person. The resultant consciousness that arises moments of conflict is now naturally inclined towards patience and becomes because it has been conditioned by a long series of past patient pollution. So it's a past act which you try to control yourself, that you become a kind of person that not easily viciously speak anything that will hurt people. This is how karma build houses we believe in, our own personality. So it's our own kind of personality of who you are is how you build it. Again, so you all better remember bit by bit every day. So next one is a vipaka pachaya, resultant or fruit condition, or what I call karmic fruit. So what is it about? It works this way. A ripened result of vipaka condition further process. There is a karmic result can itself become a pachaya for other dharmas. That means karmic that causes may cause other things to happen. Example, a pleasant vipaka mood condition further wholesome choice. Okay, result karma action. Vipaka pachaya is the conditioned relationship where a past karmic evolution, the karma I created, act as the condition for arising of a present resultant experience, the vipaka. So in simple terms, vipaka pachaya is a law that past the intentional action are the primary condition for the present subjective experience we undergo. So we will see example how this thing works. Key characteristic of vipaka, morally neutral. The resultant consciousness, or called vipaka, itself is neither, remember that, vipaka is neither wholesome nor unwholesome. The experience of pain is not unwholesome, it's merely a result. So how can you react to that pain? With aversion, patience, etc. Becomes a new karma. Okay? So this is called morally neutral. Non-linear and complex. The ripening of karma is increasing complex. A single action can view multiple results, and a single experience can be result of multiple past action. Okay? So a single action may view multiple results. Or another thing is that a single experience can be a result of multiple past action. It doesn't happen in a simple one-to-one immediate fashion. So some of the things is very hard to explain. It cannot be one-to-one process. It may be one to many. So require supporting condition. Example here say, a seed needs soil, water, and sunlight to grow, right? Similarly, a karmic seed requires supporting condition, paccaya, to ripen. So if the conditions are unright, the result may not manifest or may be very weak. That's why the past karma that happen is like seed store inside down there, waiting for the right moment to happen. That means sufficient, like a seed, kind of good soil, good water, and good sunlight, and then this thing will ripen. So if you able to control it, the bad seed which you accomplished in the past, will not able to surface without the right condition. Okay, a modern example to explain much clearer. Example, a career promotion, past karma see. In a previous job, you diligently mentor a junior colleague without expecting anything in return, acting with generosity and compassion. Maybe wholesome karma. So you doing helping somebody, your colleague, and helping him to learn OJT on job training until he become a qualified person. So present vipaka, ripening. Years later, you are up for promotion. I mean, this thing unknown to you, that the same colleague now works in the company you're applying to and is on a hiring panel. So you're so lucky. After many years, then you go to another company. Now your well-trained colleague is somebody inside the company. They remember your kindness. So this colleague remember your kindness and become a strong advocate for you, and you get a job. It's bring you joy, financial security, and a sense of accomplishment. So because of your past, you train this guy to be a skillful person. Then when the result ripen in your next job, and you are so lucky that you meet the same person who is now higher than you, you can get this job easily because of his trust to you. So this vipaka paccaya link, the past wholesome action of selfless mentoring was the condition because of the help in the past. This is called the condition of paccaya for the present pleasant experience, the vipaka of getting the promotion. So you come to the next company, this guy, because of the past, he is somebody that able to help you to elevate yourself up. So the crucial line is that the vipaka is a pleasant experience itself, your reaction to promotion, whether you become arrogant or remain humble and grateful. It's a new set of karmic action that will bear fruit in the future. So if the new job, it's up to you whether you become humble and grateful. So if you're humble and grateful, a new set of karmic action will repeat in the future. The unexpected health diagnosis, the past karma of the sea. In your youth, you are habitually negligent of your health, consume unhealthy substances like drinking or eating excessively, and ignore medical advice due to carelessness. So this is considered unwholesome karma born out of ignorance. So at the present vipaka ripening. So in the age of 50s, despite recent adopting a healthy lifestyle, you receive a serious health diagnosis that causes physical pain and mental distress. I mean, your present health condition deteriorate. So there's a link, the vipaka paccaya. Because of the past unwholesome action, body neglect, we were the condition for the present painful experience of illness. Hold on. The pain is a result. However, you now have a choice. You can react with fear, anger, and why me? Why creating a new unwholesome karma? Or you can meet the illness with patience, courage, and a commitment to care for your body as best as you can. So this is creating a new wholesome karma. Can we stop for a while? Oh, come back
Okay.
in 5 minutes time.